On my monitor screen at the moment, you are looking at the Janome Design Gallery from the Digitiser Pro MB version 3. There isn't an awful lot to see, is there? Okay, let's look at what there is. Obviously at the top you've got Janome Design Gallery, and then underneath you've got 4 little Windows commands. File, which is fairly straightforward. Edit, View, which is also fairly straightforward. Help. Now the help files, if you haven't already read them, can I suggest you do, because they are useful. I'm not going to go through it. I'm going to let you read your own help files, because they do explain quite clearly how the program works. So I'm going to close the help files down and come back onto this screen. Underneath that we then have a little icon that's grayed out, and that's Open Design in Design Editor. The next symbol is Convert the selected designs. So you can do a batch convert if you want. That's something I don't approve of, and my reasoning is most of the software now is what they call objects based, and it means as you are creating a design you are setting up a recipe, and that recipe includes the stitch types, stitch length, density of a fill, the tool that you're using, any special functions such as a motif run line or a wave. You risk losing any of those that the original Digitiser used, because a stitch file does not contain any of that information. All it contains is XY coordinates for moving the hoop from that position where my cursor is to this position ready for the next needle penetration, to this position ready for the next needle penetration. All the program can see is XY coordinates, needle penetrations, needle up, needle down. It doesn't have anything else to work with. And when you do a conversion from a stitch file to another stitch format, you can actually lose little bits of that information. So let's say a friend shared a design with you and it was a Pez, but you've got a Husqvarna machine. So you change that Pez stitch format into a Hus. You've just done a second generation stitch file conversion. Then you might share that with somebody else who decides that they want to do a Jeff format conversion. And with each conversion of that original stitch file that got purchased, which was a first generation file, there's been a slight degeneration of the quality of the design. The integrity gets reduced, and you could end up at the end of the line with something that looks positively disgusting, and it looks nothing like the original purchase design. That's why I don't like people doing stitch file conversions. Anyway, off my little pet hobby horse. Then we've got a hide show folders. That's a toggle button. If you click it, there's no left hand menu. Click it again, it comes back. Then you've got a how to change or change view. Thumbnails, summary, list. Okay, so now we come down one, and this is your filter. And in my filter I've got all embroidery files. I click on the down chevron, and in here are all the files that the program supports. And you've got a fair number. There's a notable exception, and that is art. Bonina and Janome do not save to each other's formats. You've also got artwork files, and that means clip art. So if I click the artwork files and I go to my computer and I go into F, I think it is. Okay, let's open that up. And we'll look in this one. Diddy bags. Bees and flowers. There we go. There are all my artwork designs. I can select every one of those by clicking the first one, holding down Shift, clicking the last one. I right click into that last one and I can say to it, print a worksheet. Or I can click off that and I can go up into File and I can say print catalogue. Scale 100%, preview, because I don't actually want to print anything. Now it's telling me it can't see these, and I don't know why. They may be WMFs. No, it's recognizing WMFs, or maybe I've just gone too quickly for it. I don't know. So I'm going to tell that close, and then I'm going to knock off that. I'm going to set my filters for embroidery files. Now there are no embroidery files in that folder, it's all clip art. So I come back up here, and I think these are all my graphics, and we'll go and we'll look at what I can do with an embroidery file. Oh, these are all loose designs hanging around in my folder. I've got to put them all away. Okay, so I'll go into my H drive and I'll tell it open up, and let's go and find a folder. Now there's the content of one of the folders in that folder. I make folders for the various sites that I buy designs from, and if I do anything on them, like these have all been compiled, you'll see there's two joined together to fit in a larger hoop. I can click on that first one. You watch, it'll do it to me again now, because I'm showing off. I can click on that last one, and I can go to File, Print Catalogue, Preview, and there they all are. And this is what would print out for me. A sheet of designs in that folder. Now, I do know some people keep all their designs in one large folder. Well, I've been collecting designs since 1996, and I've got rather a lot, so I don't keep mine all in one place. I also back them all up everywhere. So let's close them up, and that, and that. And where's my BFC designs? Seeing as you're all BFC members. Okay, these are all in, this one isn't, this one is a Jeff. He's still zipped. Big cats. Now I can print those out. Some of the colours look a bit gory, but that's because I'm using a Janome palette. But Suze provides us with the colour charts, and I don't know if it'll give me all files. Yes, it's not going to give me PDFs. I hadn't checked that up before I started this, so I'll close that, and let's see what else we've got. The mermaid. These are, even though they're not big designs, they're only window designs, they've got an awful lot of information in them. And I've worked my computer very hard today. It's been having to make videos, do graphics work, do all kinds of things, so I think my computer's a little bit tired now, and that's why it's a bit slower than normal. These are the tiles that make up Sue's design, the mermaid, and they're all in DST, but I've got all her colour charts, so seeing them like this doesn't bother me in the least, because I choose my colours at my machine, and as I use a 12 needle machine, it's not quite so painful for me to have to do all the thread changes. Right, I don't know what's in the new folder. The tiger. I have a future daughter-in-law who's mad about big cats, so she's getting a whole pile of big cats, one big design to go on her wall, and then the big cat's heads on cushions, throw cushions for her sofas. But you don't really want to know that. Okay, so this is your navigation tree, and it's very handy. This is your hard drives. Most people only have one hard drive. I've got 5 hard drives, and I've also got a large external drive, and then my computer is networked into another 2 computers, and they're all jam-packed full of graphics or digitizing software. I'm going to close that bit now, and hopefully I've shown you how you can use your filter for your different designs. If you buy, as I do, in DST and Jeff formats, and you keep them in the same folder, you can filter out one or the other. I can just ask to see DST, which is an industrial format, or I can just ask to see Jeff. If, as some of my members do, you own a brother machine and most of your designs are in PES, you can ask just to see PES designs, and they are just there. If you've got a Husqvarna machine and it uses either Hus, VIP or VP3, you can ask just to see those. If you've got the Digitiser program, Easy Design, and you create your own Jan files, you can ask to see those. So your filter is very useful, and I'm going to put it back on all embroidery files. Your view, change how to view, I will just show you quickly how that works. If I just ask for thumbnails, and I go to my computer, and I go to H, and we'll go embroidery library. There we go. And I'll just go into birds. Now all you can see is the design number. You can't see anything else. Just a design number. And some of these are taking a little bit of time to come in. Now, if I go up to change view, so I'm going to have to wait a little while to do. It looks as though they're all in. And I say summary. See how they've changed. They've given me the number of stitches, the number of colours, the height of the design, the width of the design, the date downloaded, the version of the software that's being used, and it's version 3.0p, Easy Design, and this is the design name or number. I can also ask for a list. That doesn't mean anything to me. I'm totally lost. I want to see what I've got. I don't want to read what I've got. That leaves me out in the cold. And then, if I wish, I can print a catalogue of that. So, I highlight the first one. Actually, I don't even have to highlight, I don't think. Trust me. Okay, highlight the first one. I made the mistake once when I got my first design gallery of printing out every design, and it was a mistake. Now I can right click into that last one and I can tell it print worksheet, but I don't want to print a worksheet. I can tell it to create a zipped file of all those designs. I can ask it to rename them all. I can ask it to convert them all. I don't want to convert them. Some of them are DSTs, some of them are JEFs. I can come up here and I can say print catalogue, ask for preview, and the summary is already ticked, and that's what it will print me. Now I don't have a physical printer on this, so I've got a PDF maker. So I click on the print. It's printing the designs, or it says it's printing the designs. I use a little free program called Primo PDF, and it can make PDFs out of the design sheets that you have in here. I tell that create, and I don't want it in my program. Oh no, that's going to go on my desktop. That's fine. Desktop design catalog PDF. That will do. I'm not going to rename it. And tell that when it opens, there's 3 pages of designs. That's the first page. With the summaries, that's the second page. That's the third page. So you can have a hard copy, because you can print this out, stick it in a file, shove it in the back of a cupboard, and forget then that you've printed it, which is what I did with mine. Right, I think I've covered everything that's in my designer gallery, because there's not an awful lot more in there. Oh, and this here, this bar, if you click on the chevron at the end, it gives me a history of where I've been. So I can tell it I want to go back to maybe this one that I was in earlier today. There you go. And these are all Jan's. These are all my working files. I tell a lie, there's a couple of Jeff's. And that's a Jeff. Now, if I want to open any one of these, I'll open that one. Open with Janome Digitiser Pro. Close that. And there is a design that I was working on, I don't know, sometime late last year. I saved it as a stitch format, and it was originally saved to go across Edit, Group, Reduce, Magnification, hide the hoop, that's better, left click, and left click again, that's better. That was the actual orientation, and bring the hoop back, and there is that design. and then tell that get into the centre. OK. And there it sits in the centre of the hoop. And of course when it's stitched out it would now save, so that when it's stitched out it would be lying that direction with its head towards the bottom of the hoop. OK, let's go back to Design Gallery, and hopefully this has given you a little insight into how you can use your Design Gallery and what can be done with it.